Dear students, we'll be solving problem number 9 in this video. The topic is income from salary, video number 18. I'm Dr. Pandra Nayak, Principal SV's College, Bengal. Let us analyze the problem. Mr. Krishna received a net salary of 1 lakh after the deduction of the following: rent of the bungalow, professional tax, income tax, LIC premium, and ultimately recognized provident fund contribution 18,000. So what you have to do is you have to calculate salary before deduction. Because it is not the net salary you have to calculate, it is the salary before deduction of anything. Okay, so all these are to be added so that you will get salary before deduction. Okay, that's one thing. Yes, so this is important. Rent of bungalow. So it is given company provided furnished house, the fair rental value of which is 40,000. Okay, so if fair rental value is given, it means the house is not rented out. So it is owned, not hired one. If it is owned, what is the value you have to find out, and then it's not free of cost because rent of the bungalow is collected, deducted from salary by the employer. That means it is concessional accommodation. Therefore, from the perquisite value, you have to deduct 6,000 and get the value of rent-free concessional accommodation. The company higher charges of furniture amounted to 550 per month. That means the furniture is hired. The furniture is owned. The procedure of valuation is 10% of cost of furniture. But it is hired. If it is hired, actual higher charges is the perquisite value of that accommodation or furniture rather. 550 into 12. Company provided 1.4 cc car. That means it is a smaller car, less than 1.4 cc, 1.6 cc. Therefore, it is a smaller car, and it is used for both private and official purposes. If that is the case, what you have to do is you have to consider and you have to find out who has paid the expenses. The company has paid all the expenses. That means smaller car 1,800 into 12. They also made the electricity, water charges which amounted to rupees 1,800 per annum and 1,200 per annum respectively. So electricity bill 1,800, water charges 1,200. Both are taxable and part of salary. The salary of watchman gardener amounted to rupees 600 per month and 700 per month respectively were paid by the company. So these are also taxable. Per month 600, yearly what it is you have to calculate. That comes to 7,200 and 700 per month in respect of gardener. That comes to 8,400. So both are taxable. The company contributed equally to the provident fund. See, it is given what is contributed by the SSC, that's Mr. Krishna, 6,000. So employer also contributes 6,000. So equally contributed by the employer. So we have to find out what is the percentage of the salary. If it is more than 12%, that is taxable. Anything about 12% of salary. And if it is 12% or lesser than that, nothing is taxable. And then a free lunch during office hours, averaging 60 per lunch for 300 days. So lunch is free at workplace if it is 50 rupees or less. If it is more than 50, then the extent it is exceeding 50, that is taxable. So 60 per lunch means 60 per lunch minus 50 for lunch. So 10 rupees per lunch is taxable. So 10 into 300. So 3000 is taxable. So up to 50,000 it is exempt. Anything above that it is taxable. So rupees 10, 60 minus 50. So 10 into 300. So that comes to 3000 rupees. During the year, he was sent to refresher course for 15 days. The company paid 15,000 towards the same. So it's a perquisite, but that is exempt and therefore nothing is taxable. He took a vehicle loan of 2 lakh at 7% and paid 12,000 as interest. SBI rate is 10%. So what you have to do is, see, if you calculate 7% on 2 lakh, that comes to 14,000. But that is not the one, because when he availed the loan, we do not know. But in the next part it is given, paid rupees 12,000. At the rate of 7%, he paid rupees 12,000 interest. But SBI rate of interest is 10%. That means he got the concession to the tune of 3%. 7 is equal to 12,000. What is 3? That way you have to calculate. In other words, 12,000 divided by 7 into 3. That way you have to calculate the concessional interest value, which is taxable. The company gifted him a TV set of rupees 35,000. So any gift by the employer to the employee in kind, it is exempt in aggregate up to rupees 5,000. Here it is 35,000. So entire amount is taxable, not anything above 5,000. He paid 4,000 towards ULIF, ATC, 15,000 to PPF, that also comes in C, and invested 20,000 in NSC, again ATC. Interest accrued is also falling under ATC. Compute taxable salary and deduction under ATC. Almost I have explained everything, but here rent of the bungalow. So from the perquisite value of accommodation, you have to deduct this so as to get concessional accommodation. Professional tax is deductible under section 80C. Income tax is, first you have to calculate the total tax liability less income tax already deducted. Therefore, remaining amount you have to calculate, which is payable. LIC premium. Yes, LIC premium. This comes under comes under ATC. Recognized Provident Fund contribution. This also comes under ATC. Okay. You go for solution. I told you have to calculate salary before deduction. Not the net salary you have to take, but the salary before deduction. Employees' contribution to recognized Provident Fund, rupees 1,48,000. Salary means here, yes, gross salary. I mean salary before deduction. So 1,48,000, and of that, so what is the percentage given? It is percentage given is okay. $18,000 is the contribution of the employee towards recognized Provident Fund. Now you have to find out what is contributed by the employer. It is given the company contributed equally to the Provident Fund. That means he has contributed, employer has contributed 18,000. Now you have to find out 18,000 means what? What percentage of salary is 18,000? If it is more than 12%, what is above 12%, that is taxable. If it is equal to or less than 12%, nothing is taxable. We'll find it out what is 18,000, whether it is about 12% or less than 12%. So 18,000 is given. Now contribution in excess of 12% of salary. 1,48,000 into 12%. That comes to 17,760. That means out of 18,000, 17,760 is exempt, that is 12% of salary. Therefore, remaining 240 are taxable. And rent-free accommodation, it is a hired one. Therefore, the rule is 15% of salary or actual higher charges, whichever is less. So here 12% of salary comes to 17,760. Sorry, I'm looking into this is yes, rent-free accommodation, 15% of salary, 15,000. Okay, or actual higher charges, whichever is less. So a 15% will be less, and therefore 22,200. Again, we'll come back to the working note. Higher charges of furniture. So if the furniture is higher, actual higher charges. If it is owned, then 10% of cost of furniture. It is higher, it's very clearly given. Therefore, 550 into 12. And from the total of 28,800, you have to deduct the rent of bungalow. See here, it's given rent of bungalow is 6,000. So this has to be deducted from the perquisite value, and you will get 22,800. It's not rent-free accommodation, rather it is concessional accommodation. And then electricity 1,800, water charges 1,200, salary of watchman 600 into 12. These are all perquisites. Salary of a gardener. So service of domestic servants has been extended to the employee. Free lunch up to 50 rupees, it is exempt. Anything above that is taxable. So 10 into 300 days, 3,000. Refresher course expenses, that is exempt. Whether to the employee or to the children of the employee, that is exempt. Vehicle loan interest. So already I told you 7% is equal to 12,000. What is 3? 3 means 10 minus 7, concession. So 12,000 into 3 divided by 7 comes to 5,143. Gift. If the amount of gift exceeds 5,000 in aggregate, that is taxable. So here the gift is up to 35,000. The entire amount is taxable, not anything above 5,000. No. If the value of the gift in aggregate exceeds 5,000, the entire amount is taxable here, so 35,000. So all the taxable salary, allowances, perquisites, all those things are over. So you will get gross salary 2,53,383. Therefore, we have to deduct deductions under section 16. Like professional tax, it is given 1,800. Standard deduction, even if it is not given, you have to deduct 50,000. So 51,800. Net salary, taxable salary is 2,02,583. Deductions under ATC, ULIF, PPF, NSC, interest on NSC mature, and RPI contribution. Okay, so that we have to calculate. What else is there? LIC premium also you have to take here. LIC premium are not included here. So LIC premium also has to be taken, 15,000. Okay. Just you have to calculate the total. So that's nothing but 80C. Look at the note. As the fair rental value of the house is given, it is assumed to be owned by the SSE. It is assumed that population of the city where he is working is more than 25 lakh. Therefore, perquisite value of accommodation is 15% of salary. Actually, here it is hired. and therefore 15% of salary or actual higher charges, whichever is, I'm sorry, here the accommodation is owned, and therefore population you have to consider, and population of the place where he is working, it is assumed to be more than 25 lakh. So if it is more than 25 lakh, the value per visit of accommodation is 15%. If it is in between more than 10,000 and not more than 25 lakh, then it is 10%. If it is less than equal or less than 10 lakh, then it is 7.5%. So here we are assuming that it is a population of the city is more than 25 lakh. See, if the accommodation is owned, then for valuation of perquisite of accommodation is the population. Population you have to find out. And if the population is more than 25 lakh, perquisite value is 15%. If it's more than 10 lakh but not more than 25 lakh, then it is 10%. If it is less than or equal to 10 lakh, then it is 7.5%. Therefore, here we are assuming that it is 15% that we have to calculate. For rent-free accommodation, 15% of salary, that comes to 22. In fact, if the house is taken on higher, then 15% of salary or actual higher charges, whichever is less. In that case, population is not to be considered at all. That will not come into picture. Okay, higher charges are also to be added. The rent of bungalow should be deducted because it is not rent free, it is concessional accommodation. Motor car is 1,812, small car. If it is big car, 2,412. Electricity, water charges, salary of watchman, salary of gardener, all these are taxable. Free lunch, the difference above 50,000, that is 60 minus 50, 10. 10 into 300, 3,000. Refresher course expenses are exempt. Vehicle loan is 7 is equal to 12,000. What is 3? Gift in aggregate exceeds 5,000, so entire amount is taxable. Deductions you understood, and even deduction under ATC you have learned. So one item I have omitted here, that is LIC premium, that you have to take it up, and thereby you have to solve the problem. Thank you very much.